But we begin this hour with Hurricane Ian as it nears the United States in full force.
That's right. The storm is growing in size and strength, and it's taking aim at Florida's west coast. Ian was upgraded to a Category 3 hurricane before making landfall in Cuba earlier today. It's packing 125-mile-per-hour sustained winds and bringing heavy rains to the island.
Officials are warning Ian could cause widespread power outages and potentially life-threatening storm surges in Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis is urging residents to listen to officials in preparation for the storm.
Mother Nature is a very fearsome adversary. So please heed those warnings. You do not need to evacuate to another state. You don't need to go hundreds of miles away. There's shelters that are open in all of these counties at this point. The important part of if you're under an evacuation order is evacuate to higher ground that is going to be safe from the type of surge and flooding that we're fearing with this storm.
Governor DeSantis says the storm's latest track has it making landfall south of Tampa somewhere in the next 48 hours. Let's bring in CBS News' Cristian Benavides now for more on this. He is in St. Petersburg, Florida. Cristian, Hurricane Ian is now on track to make landfall in the St. Petersburg area tomorrow. Tell us what the situation's like on the ground there.
Lana, Lilia, good afternoon. Well, look, people are heeding those warnings. We've spoken to people who said, hey, listen, if I need to get out of an area that is low-lying, I'm going to do that. And we've seen that happen. In fact, yesterday, officials were just saying that the time that it takes to get from the west coast of Florida to the east coast of Florida, typically about 2 hours, to prepare to be on the road for about 4 to 10 hours. So there is a sense that people know this storm is coming. Right now, we're feeling just a little bit of wind, but this is the calm before the storm. We are expected to see some conditions deteriorate beginning tonight. And in fact, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis earlier in the day had said, look, you need to be wherever it is that you're going to ride out the storm by 9 p.m. tonight. So certainly people are watching, where the storm exactly is going to make landfall. But regardless of where it makes landfall, we are concerned about that storm surge. And we could still see storm surge of up to 15 feet in areas near Tampa and St. Petersburg, even if the eye doesn't necessarily strike right here.
We're seeing images of traffic, of people preparing. I can't imagine what 15 feet of storm surge looks like in a place like Florida that's so flat. Cristian, evacuation orders are in effect in multiple areas. You mentioned that, people are heeding, people are taking it seriously. They're moving people who are unhoused away from the area. Uber is driving people to safe places. Have you heard from people who are saying we're going to wait out the storm?
Well, look, listen, I was raised in Florida, so sometimes Floridians get a lot of flack because there are certain people who say, hey, listen, I'm going to stay here, I'm going to ride out the storm, but that is a very small minority. The vast, overwhelming number of people who are in those low-lying areas have either already left or are making plans to go, because we know that when it gets to a Category 3, Category 4, there's a lot to be concerned about. Now, remember, here in the Tampa Bay area, a major hurricane hasn't made landfall in over 100 years. 1921 was the last time a major hurricane made landfall. That was a Category 3. So we're looking at this storm, potentially Category 4. Who knows what it's going to be when it makes landfall. So people know that this area hasn't really been tested for something like that. And listen, you talk to locals here, and they know that in the Tampa Bay area, there are times where it just sort of rains and you get a little bit of flood. So just imagine the rain event that we're about to see. The forecast is showing that the storm might stall over the state for however long. So there's a lot of concern about what could happen there. People are taking it seriously. The vast majority of people are.
Well, Cristian Benavides, thank you so much for all that information. We're going to turn to CBS News correspondent Manuel Bojorquez in Fort Myers, Florida. Manny, you're covering the storm. Can you just walk us through how things are looking like over there? The updated track of the hurricane making landfall is close to the Fort Myers airport, area. We just heard the Sarasota area as well from the governor should be bracing. Just tell us what you're seeing on the ground. What are you hearing from locals? Are people prepared?
Well, that shift in the track really changed the situation here in Southwest Florida, in Charlotte and Lee counties, because even if it doesn't make landfall here, we're projected at this point to get the right side of the storm, which is that powerful side that will send all that water in. So yesterday, this was an area where 4 to 7 feet of storm surge were projected. That has now changed to 5 to 10 feet. And as we've been talking, officials saying perhaps even more. So you got to think about this. Where I'm standing, that would be well above my head. And that's why the evacuation orders have expanded here again in Lee and Charlotte counties, especially because you have those barrier islands, for example, Captiva and Sanibel, low-lying areas where you might expect that it would be completely covered in storm surge if the track continues the way it is right now. I want to point something out to you. You see this bridge right behind me over there. That's the bridge that goes over into Captiva and Sanibel. When the winds reach perhaps 40 miles per hour, depending on what officials have determined is the time they will close that bridge, well, then people will not be able to get out anymore. And that's why it's so important that people heed those warnings now. Again, I get the sense that people in Tampa were prepared and started to head out. And now that the track has shifted a little, I think that more people down in this area are trying to get gas, trying to get water, and trying to get to higher ground.
Manny, well, that's a really good point, because as Lilia and I well know, as having family in that area, those bridges are really important. Are people clear? I just worry, Manny, about how the evacuation orders have changed, the different groups, A, B, C, D, et cetera. Are you hearing that locals know where they're supposed to go and are doing so?
You know, just driving down here, the radio stations are all putting that information out there. So I'm imagining that people might be getting the information that way. There are websites where people can check their address to see what zone they are in and therefore know whether they need to evacuate or not. At some point, it becomes incumbent upon those people themselves to try to reach out if they don't have that information readily available to find out, listen, where am I? You know this, that so much of Southwest Florida, like much of Florida, are communities that are built on barrier islands, on waterways, on estuaries. These homes have docks that go out into some of these canals. So you'd imagine that those people, you'd hope, are paying attention to all of this right now and getting out, because the weather conditions here are set to deteriorate probably starting tonight. So the window of time to get out is starting to close.
Yeah. You know, Manny, it's an area that's, you know, a big part of Captiva, Sanibel, all of that is tourism. But it's also an area that, you know, hosts a lot of retirees, older folks. You know, I'm really concerned thinking about the people. As you mentioned, my dad works there. He's a doctor there, and a lot of his patients are elderly people who would be so vulnerable. I'm just wondering what those efforts to go to people's homes to get them out, people who don't have access, you know, to social media, who don't know that Ubers are free for them to go to shelters, what that looks like, and you know, how else are people fleeing the area?
Yeah, and I'd imagine that's where the local officials here are trying to figure this out right now, perhaps getting buses to those places where they know people may not have the ability to move out on their own. So you'd imagine those efforts are indeed happening right now, because it'll get to a point where you can't do that. And again, the governor's point, as you heard earlier, just before the hour started here, was that you don't necessarily have to go far, but just if you're in a low-lying area, try to get to higher ground. That's what's important here. So I'd imagine that many of the local officials are trying to figure out how to do that. They know where these nursing homes or elderly care facilities are. They know what the zones are. And in those situations, you'd imagine that the local sheriffs with the local mayors and those types of officials are trying to figure out how to get to people who are vulnerable. We've seen that in storms past. But again, just everything here in Southwest Florida, just a few days ago thinking we may escape the worst of it. And really now it's starting to dawn on people that this could be really bad.
Yeah, we see those images from space, and it's breathtaking.
It's massive and it's volatile.
Yeah.
And being that these storms, just like a Fiona, it just dumps so much water, the threat of flooding and the
And that
impact
storm
to,
surge,
yeah,
10 to
the
15
economy
feet. All
too,
right,
will be
Manny,
horrible.
thank you for watching out. Watch out for yourself as well as the crew out there. Thanks.